Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds. Man, oh man, ha ha ha, bye, I guess.
Yeah, as they say.
As they've been known to say.
Hi, everybody.
Hello,
welcome.
everyone.
Welcome to the final,
the very
episode
last,
of MASKHOLES. Final until they make a new Friday the 13th movie, Tom.
Yeah, which could be any day now.
Yeah, they're making that Crystal Lake series, right? Didn't really count.
Maybe.
A
A
lot of maybes.
We'll see if it ever comes out.
But we've done it. We're here at the end.
We've completed it. We've reached the final mask hole.
Yeah, we have. We've put our fingers in all the mask holes, and this is the final one.
Licked a few of them. Licked a lot of them.
Yeah, oh yeah.
If I'm going to be honest.
We licked that like it's porn we found in a shed.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that guy.
Yeah, shed porn.
Yeah. But listen, this was all brought to you by our beautiful producer, Chris Shanovich. Thank you so much, Chris Shanovich. What a journey.
Thank you.
What a journey we've been on here in these holes, out of these holes.
Through
and
them.
we are at the final movie, which is not related to any of the other movies. We are at the 2009 reboot, Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
This is produced by Michael Bay.
It sure is. This is in the aughts when he was kind of running through his horror stuff, like he did the Amityville Horror, and then also the Texas Chainsaw reboot.
Yeah, and that's why he was approached. He was approached by New Line Cinema. They're like, "You're doing these. You want to do one of these?" They spent a year getting the film rights.
Yeah, we've mentioned it a few times, I know, but man, Jason is a surprisingly thorny intellectual property.
It really is, because he's owned by multiple people.
Yeah.
Which makes sense when you think about it. Like, Sean S. Cunningham, I think, has the first movie, and that sort of, like, the problem is that I'm sure they'd love to, but that movie, the lore and the name Jason, the background, like it feels like the mask and the imagery. I'm guessing it feels like that's not his. You know what I mean? Where
right.
It's like the modern Jason look isn't his, but everything else is his. Or something like that.
It's even more like it's even more complicated than that. It's the writer of the original film and Sean Cunningham have a dispute. And the dispute comes from, the guy wrote the script and creates Jason Voorhees, the character, who is, just a drowned little boy. You never see him except for the jump scare at the end.
Right.
But the work was done for hire. So it's this sticky legal situation, and then you have two different studios also coming in there being like, "Hey, we threw our money in this year. We should get a slice of them there MASKHOLES."
Right, exactly.
It's
a lot.
This was like a Roger Rabbit getting this one made.
It's amazing.
Even more so than Freddy versus Jason, I feel like.
Right. It feels like, it's weird that Jason Voorhees, the character, is like splintered. So it's like you have to all these people have to get together.
He's like
in
Spider-Man.
order to agree. Yeah. And it's like, guys, something has to be done here.
Yeah.
Someone has to sell something. Like, someone has to say, give me money and I will give you full control. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have to wait for people to die, is my point.
No, but I will.
But I will. Yeah, exactly. They originally wanted Tommy Jarvis in this, but that was scrapped.
Oh, to do like a legacy sequel?
I think it was always going to be like they talk about how
always a clean reboot. Okay.
Yeah, they didn't want it to be. They wanted it to be modern. They didn't want it to be like Texas Chainsaw. And they yeah, I don't know. I assume the character Clay is his name, played by Sam.
Yep.
From
played by
Supernatural.
Sam Winchester.
He's kind of the Tommy Jarvis, so I think that maybe that was where he was going to be.
Yeah, maybe.
Jason is played by Derek Mears.
Yes.
Cute thing about that is apparently people were literally concerned because Mears is extremely nice. And I thought that was funny, where it's like, you can pretend.
Yeah.
Like, your job
actor.
is...
Yeah.
The industry is about pretending.
Yeah. Yeah. Tim Curry is apparently really nice.
Yeah.
All the kids were scared as hell of him in It.
Yeah.
But it's called acting.
Yeah.
I briefly met Derek Mears. He came to Collider when I was working there.
It was nice?
Like, he seemed nice. I was just like, shook his hand, I think, in passing. If I did that.
Right. The writers, this was funny. They made alterations to Jason a little bit, I guess, and you can sort of tell. They described him as John Rambo Tarzan and the Abominable Snowman from Looney Tunes. I'm like, sure. The thing that...
well, I get that.
Yeah.
Rambo, I had that written in my notes, like literally, John Rambo.
Oh, yeah.
This is
something... We'll talk about the
like,
strengths and weaknesses of this movie.
The Abominable Snowman from Looney Tunes is that orange monster, right?
I don't know.
I think that's him. If that's the right character, then that kind of makes sense, because if you remember like the haunted house episodes of Looney Tunes where like there were all these secret compartments and doors and stuff that they would keep moving around through.
Right.
And that's what Jason Bass does in this here film.
Yeah. One thing they said is unlike Rambo, they don't want to make him sympathetic. And I don't like this. So I want to talk about this as we talk about the movie, but apparently the writers said that what they learned from writing Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, was not to make Jason too sympathetic to the audience. And what bothers me about that is that that's two different series. You know what I mean? Where it's like, that's not a good way to learn a lesson. Leatherface isn't Jason.
Right. You don't learn a lesson about making Friday the 13th from making Leatherface.
Right. They're just different characters. And they do cut down on they go back to the gritty for this one. This is from the era, right, where we did the Michael Bay one. We did the fucking where it's like, let's make it this like 2000s gritty.
This is extremely 2000s, yeah.
Yes. And it's got that sheen, that like dark sheen. It's fine.
Yeah. It's fine. It's not bad, actually.
Yeah,
I think that the coolest, there's a couple of really cool things about this. The opening is great. The cold open is awesome.
Yes.
It's like 22 minutes of...
Oh, you mean, not the cold open with Voorhees getting Pamela.
No, not that one. Yeah, sorry, not that one.
Where
the 20-minute sequence where it's a whole other group of teens.
Right, I like that too. Like, there's basically two groups, and when you watch it for the first time, you think
the movie started, yeah,
exactly, and it's like, oh no, all these people don't matter.
They all get smoked. And they do an interesting thing with the idea of the final girl.
Yes, it's very funny because it's almost like weird Final Destination rules where it's like the twist is like, all right, this is our final girl, and it's like, no, there's a final girl before her.
Yeah,
that negates the
one
first
from
final
earlier.
Girl. Yeah, like it's like, oh no, it's like a secret rule that they don't know. This meta rule. It's just like, no. It's like the Last Action Hero scene when he's like, I'm the sidekick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die.
I'm the comic relief.
Yeah. It's that.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a reveal, that the Sam's sister, the girl from the opening 20 minutes, is still alive.
Yeah. I like that.
And then the other lady who we think is like the final girl just kind of gets smoked very abruptly.
I will say it's tough, but it's of tradition. It's more quaint the farther I get away from it. We talked about this in the last ones and stuff about how like the 2000s is now funny in 80s style, but it's all to say that the first group I like better, and then they replace them with just the shittiest people. And it's like, there's kind of a moment of disappointment where they're like, nah, those people don't matter. Here's some new people. And I'm like, I don't like these
They
people.
Extremely don't matter. Like,
I don't want these.
They feel somewhat, they feel like really thin in comparison. Weirdly.
Yeah. Weirdly. The other, I'll say, because I do think this is fun. It's not bad. It's got some fun moments. I will say, generally speaking, the kills aren't good enough.
Yeah,
and
that
what
was,
I mean,
I remember seeing this in the theater, and that was what I was bummed out about. Like that was that's always what's disappointing about a Jason movie. And this one is that. Yeah, the kills are pretty weak.
Too many stabs, too many impales, too many slashes, meaning that there's not enough environmental kills. They don't really use like the way they dispatch Jason really says it all. Is there's a fucking like a wood chipper, and nobody goes in it.
Nope.
And it's like
it's Chekhov's wood chipper too.
Right, but in the bad way, where you're like, no, I want somebody to go in that. Like the last scene, they should have at least like they do the thing where Jason pops out of the water. Okay, have him grab her and drag her to the wood chipper and use it.
Toss her in, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
the things getting used.
Right, and there's kind of a lot of that. Like the part where the guy Chewie goes into the shed and it's like, ooh, there's a saw, ooh, there's this, oh, there's that, and he just stabs him. And it's like the anti-climactic where it's like, sorry, I said that like it's a new word. But it is that. It's like it's like they're doing the opposite idea, right? Where it's like, ooh, what could it be? Could it be this or this? Or how about it's this boring thing? And it's like, yeah, cool. It should be like, it should be show us some stuff and we didn't even occur to us that's like, oh, he can run that guy on that saw that was in the background or something like that. Like, I don't know. It's just not creative enough.
Yeah, real basic. There's there's not much to call out, although there are a few. There are a few that are fun. I particularly like the arrow, the bow and arrow.
We'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll rate him.
Yeah, it's because we're expanding sort of his bag of tricks.
Yeah.
I like the idea. This
funny.
Is also the other thing about the aughts is you said it's the gritty thing. We're getting back to gritty. It's also like the gritty realism, like, the Dark Knight and Batman Begins and all that's like grounded Jason is sort of what this is.
Yeah, well, they're doing stuff. They're like, okay, how does he get around? He's not magic.
Right. So like the tunnels sort of explain his teleportation and the little bells sort of explain his omniscience, like how he always seems to know where everybody is. And
yet he still seems to have stuff beyond that, even in this movie, which is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like, I personally, having watched every Friday the 13th now many, many times and thought about it, think the other way is to go with Jason. Like the way Shane Black did the Predator movie. It's that direction for me, which is like go out of control and continue to go out. And I know we've sort of done that already, and they were doing the like return to form gritty. Yeah. But if you do that, then make it scary. And this isn't that either. You know what I mean? Like gritty slasher, the issue with the gritty slasher is that it's like, unless it's like very few slashers are scary, I would argue.
Right. Kind of the only thing you have going for it is it's kind of a suspense mystery.
Yes. And like how
if you want to go that
kills.
Direction.
I would argue like Texas Chainsaw, the first one, is genuinely like scary in a repellent way.
Yeah, it's upsetting. And it's
Yeah,
tense.
exactly. Yeah. But it's the idea of once they become Mickey Mouse, right?
Yeah, once it's
like
a character on a piece of merchandise, then it's like, well,
yeah, then it's like you're never going to be scary again.
Yeah, it's like
Not
you
really.
can't be scared of the alien anymore.
Right, unless you gritty it up to such an extent where it feels fundamentally different or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just Jason he's a cartoon character. So like to do it like he's going to be more gritty, but also we want to have good kills. Like it felt like it was fighting itself a little, where it like didn't quite know what tone it wanted.
A little bit. I think it was just trying to mimic like one of the quote unquote classic ones from the 80s.
Yeah, it definitely felt like all the D-bags and the fucking felt very like we're doing 80s again. It just felt like the kills themselves were like not over the top enough.
No.
And Jason was like, they made him like they were trying to, like you said, make him more gritty. Like the characters are cartoony as hell.
Yeah. These are not real people.
Yeah,
I can't wait to talk about them.
I know. Oh my god. Multiple people jack off in weird places.
I know, it's nuts.
Yeah. But that's perfect. Like that shit is like, okay, you got the assignment. It's the Jason himself where I'm like, and the kills where it's just like, why didn't we have more fun with this?
It was like they were trying to make that serious.
Yeah.
It's like, well, here's the places for the comic relief. And it's like, yeah, this is like a legitimate way to make a Jason movie, but why would you want to? Like the genie's out of the bottle after Jason lives. Like we've seen the mountaintop of this character, and it's not this. Like it's
again, unless you want to get really gritty with it, go back to like Pamela Voorhees, go back to like Murder Mystery, go back to like I don't even know. Even that, it's like, well, you know who did it.
Yeah,
we've all seen it. But you know what I mean is like unless you like I don't think Jason's the right one for it, but I'm trying to think of a good example because we have done versions where it's like go all the way back. The
Nightmare on Elm Street reboot was sort of
Nightmare on Elm Street a little bit,
but it whiffed it pretty hard on the nightmare sequences.
I guess I'm thinking of like Batman, right? So if you think of a horror character like Batman, and then you look at Robert Pattinson, where it's like the Batcave is now a very grounded, realistic place. The Batmobile is like a car that you can see him creating, right? Like even the Christian Bale gritty ones were always like, this is like a Bond lair. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
where it's like,
it was ridiculous.
Whereas Robert Pattinson was like, let's make a character that you can really like understand and see. That's what I mean is like, if you wanted to go really gritty, you'd have to have Jason Voorhees be like a guy wearing armor, you know, that's like people are trying to kill and like the things are bouncing off of. And like you'd want to like I could see an interesting, really like weirdly gritty version like that. But it's like when it's in between, like when he's still magic, you know, you stab him in the chest and so it's like, just make it ridiculous at that point.
Yeah. Like I said, the genie's out of the bottle with Jason.
Exactly, yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
All that's to say is he learned bow and arrow because he was a camper. And that's his gritty, the gritty reboot of Jason is we give him appropriate skills to his background.
Yeah, I enjoyed that there was all kind of camping stuff. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny as hell.
That's all he knows.
Yeah. For people who haven't seen this movie, basically it's the first 20 minutes is a group of people going out to find pot. They all get murdered, so you think, and then you have the second wave of people, and one of them is trying to find his sister. They all get murdered, and what seems like the final girl also gets murdered because she is essentially replaced by the sister who has been kidnapped because she looks like Pamela Voorhees. Because, you know, Jason...
He's got a locket.
Who could say?
Yeah, he's got a locket. Listen, it's kind of like, this is sort of like the Evil Dead 2 of the first 3 Friday the 13th movies.
That's a good way of putting it. You're right.
And by that I mean like it's sort of a speed retelling combination of a like it's covering all the main events of those movies, and it's also like smushing them together and retelling them. So like we get the first movie in the opening credits, which is Pamela Voorhees is killing everybody at the camp, and then she gets her head chopped off, and then Jason comes out of the woods and picks up her locket and her head.
Yep.
And then we get a lot of 2, which is kind of like the opening 20 minutes, and he's wearing the potato sack on his head.
Yeah.
He's wearing the sack. And then we get like part 3, like the barn. The barn is identical to the barn from Higgins Haven.
Yeah.
He gets hung in the barn, which is what happens to him pretty much in the end of part 3.
Yeah.
He gets his hockey mask. That's part 3.
Yeah.
And he quote unquote dies. Like well, that's technically 4.
He becomes a zombie. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, you're right.
Well, no. Wait. Him coming back to life is 4. Like
it's 6. He comes back to life because of a lightning strike. Remember?
Right. Yeah, that's right. He wakes up in the morgue, so he's not dead.
Yeah. No, up until then, he's just a guy on PCP
he's just a guy on angel dust. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. And honestly, that's the best way to do this because it's like, yeah.
You're just hitting all the beats. It feels a little bit like a cool video game adaptation, if that makes sense. It's like, oh, you guys are finding you're getting everything in there. It's kind of like a new story with a bit of a mishmash. But
nobody in their right mind would accept a reboot that started with Pamela Voorhees and didn't have Jason in it.
Oh no, you go
like simply. It's just like, listen, we had a false start. Yeah,
no, the hockey mask is what sells tickets.
Right, it's like an Alien film that didn't have like. I was going to say the Queen Alien, but there's a lot of those actually.
Most of them don't have.
Yeah, so maybe not. It's not like that, but you guys get it. You understand. Should we let's talk about what Jason's up to?
Oh man. Yes, we should.
So he's been living like a mole. I just want to think about his life because we have to completely reset our thoughts on Jason for this one. So his mom died.
Forget everything you know about Jason.
Yeah. His mom the part 1 did happen.
Yeah.
We just don't see it. She got her head chopped off. Jason, who I don't know how old he must have been, like a teenager?
He's a little boy. Still, he's got to be like 10, 12.
Okay.
So it seems like he was just like hanging around in the forest. Like it's pouring rain. His mom thinks he's dead. So he's just like spying on his mom from the forest as she is carving her way through some sex teens. Why
did this? It feels like a real Child Protective Services failure. But when Jason drowned and then didn't, why didn't he go anywhere? Why did he just go, all right, everybody thinks he's like, I'm off the grid now. I'm going to stay off the grid.
Right, yeah.
Which is very funny because he seems to care about his mom, who is sad that he's dead. And at any point, he could just go, no, I'm over here. Hey, Mom.
Right, he's like Dark Man.
Yeah, like, I don't know why.
I have to fade away. It's for the best.
Yeah.
She can't know me like this.
Maybe he was still working up the courage, and then her head got cut off, and then for years he apparently
he made
did
a go
a bunch
of
of stuff.
He made a home out of Crystal Lake. Yeah, he dug extensive tunnels.
Yes, which when you think about it is exactly what any of us would do if we were a child, and got like I would make he made a fort. He made a fort.
He made a super cool underground fort.
Yeah. He burrowed, he put up bells, and then I'm pretty sure he put out a lure, and that is weed. Who else planted that weed?
I think he did.
I think he did too.
This is I don't think it's a lure. This is a reboot,
right? Oh, you think he's protecting his weed?
Jason's growing weed. Every single one of these people is trying to steal his weed.
Yeah, you're right.
They come on to, he's minding his own business.
Yeah,
they come onto his property and steal his weed.
If this took place in the Pacific Northwest, nobody would even bat an eye.
No, this is just a
be like
guy
him
in
and the
Oregon.
other weed growers.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Like that's what he's doing. He built himself an underground lair, because he's got it. It's 2009, so the growing game is still pretty. I mean, it's still, Anyway, it's not legal yet, so it's still pretty dangerous. He's got that intricate bell system all throughout, so he can know when anyone's sneaking through trying to steal his bush.
He is just a weed farmer.
He's just a weed farmer, but he's like Solid Snake, the weed farmer.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like, he's a, yeah. I mean, this is the thing is that if I heard in the news that a weed farmer killed a bunch of teenagers while wearing a hockey mask, I wouldn't bat an eye. No. Like that is just, like I'm sure he was also on meth,
Even if you said a weed farmer wearing a hockey mask killed a bunch of teens with a machete, you'd still be like, yep.
Yeah, that's the weed farmer for you.
That's what you would
2009.
Carry. That's what you would carry if you were a weed farmer.
Like you could step back out of context. So for example, the name Friday the 13th means nothing.
It's
right?
completely meaningless. They don't even mention that it's Friday the 13th. Like they do it in the opening where she's like, today's his birthday, but they don't say that it's Friday the 13th.
If you cut out the intro and let's pretend for a second we lived in a world where there was no other Friday the 13th movies, everybody would just accept that plot. People, without even being told, people would say, "Oh, that movie about the weed farmer protecting his weed," and he goes too far. That's
he's just a backwoods madman, right? Like
exactly,
you'd be like, "Oh, this is like it's a Texas Chainsaw, basically." It's like, "Oh, he's a backwoods hillbilly, and you done wandered onto his land, and everyone in America understands that."
Yeah, exactly.
Like, well,
that's all he is. He's just protecting his weed.
No matter what happens, like he throws a bear trap on your head, you're like, "Yeah, you're on his property."
I just thought the funniest ending that could be is Jason gets arrested and he pulls out a piece of paper and the cop looks at it and goes,
"Stand your ground law."
Yeah, and it's like, "Oh, he owns this property, guys. He owns it. It's completely legal."
Yeah, they're like taking him in. "All right, Jason, we finally got you." Oh, his name's on the deed, guys. His name's on the deed.
Yeah.
This is all his. It's all his. And we're a stand
legal.
your ground state, so we have to leave right now. Actually,
yeah,
the department's going to get sued.
He's chopping me. We got to go.
The department's going to get sued by Jason Voorhees.
It's really funny, but you're right. That is
him
entirely
going downtown
realistic.
to file it, just in a hockey mask and a shirt and tie.
That's the next question. So Jason definitely planted this weed. Does that mean he's selling it,
or he must be? But like you see how much it is.
If I'm being honest, I do not think he's smoking that weed.
He does not behave as though he's a person.
Yeah.
That habitually smokes weed. That somebody who gets high.
He's very productive.
He's pretty tightly wound. And he's very, very productive. Yeah. He must, right? Because the amount that's there and the sheer Scarface level violence that he's defending it with.
Yeah.
Like he's a major supplier here.
Yeah, he's not going direct to customer.
No. He's not going down to the fucking 7-Eleven and selling weed to teenagers. No. He's supplying like drug dealers with this.
There's a large drug dealer who's not even the supplier themselves.
Right, yeah.
And they have it worked out where they go, "Listen, we have this deal worked out. If you go down to Crystal Lake, stop at this marker. Do not go past the marker. There will be bushels of weed all packed up. You take that. You leave this. You leave all this. You leave this food and these porno mags." I don't know what Jason wants, but I don't feel like it's money. Doesn't matter. You leave this stuff.
Yeah.
If you don't,
he always takes all of it.
Yeah.
We're afraid not to leave any of it. We don't know what it is.
We have sent people past the marker. They do not come back. We have you leave the stuff. If you do not leave the stuff, you will be killed. Just do this. It's saving us a fortune. It's a great deal. Like that's got to be it. But it definitely has the added part of it lures in teens. He's learned that weed lures in teens. That was my theory, but it does feel more plausible that Jason simply survives by growing and selling weed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems to support his lifestyle. Like,
why else is there bear traps and shit around it?
Yeah.
He's trapping his weed.
Yeah. Yes. Why else would he do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he didn't, well, maybe he did. But
it's
I was going to say
good weed.
Huh?
It's very healthy and good weed. They keep noting.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't just happen.
No.
And who
he's magic.
Who else is growing that weed? Who else could possibly be growing that weed?
Nobody
Crystal can survive
Lake?
Going out there. Yeah.
In Crystal Lake over the past 30 years.
The only other option is that Jason's growing the weed and he has no idea what it does. He just thinks it's pretty.
He just knows people give him lots of money for it.
Yeah. He's like, my flowers. People love my flowers.
Yeah. I just go sell my flowers and then I can get the machines to dig my hole. That's what I was about to say earlier. He didn't dig those tunnels with his hands. And then I stopped myself and was like, well, maybe he did. But
that is a good fucking question, though.
They're reinforced with beams, but of course he's a mountain man, so he could have just cut down trees and made those himself.
So long.
Yeah, he had to have
In another world, Jason could have made a killer survival YouTube channel.
Oh, dude, he'd have his own travel channel show, his own discovery show. He would be Bear Grylls.
Yeah, he would.
He would host. He would never speak. He would mutely host a survival show, just like gesturing.
Yeah, it'd be being a camera
pointing at a water source with a machete.
Much. Yeah. Oh, that'd be so good.
It's a completely useless survival show because he can't explain anything he's doing.
I want to only talk about this, and I know we can't, but like the camp and everything. There's also abandoned school buses, and I was just like, where did those buses
built in?
Yeah.
They're part of the traps. Like he has a hatch built into that abandoned school bus.
This feels like a universe. Again, we can't really like speculate on the history, but like in the other films don't matter, but it feels like a universe where Jason won. And what I mean is that like he kept killing people at Crystal Lake more and more. And just like that school bus clearly was brought there with kids. Jason killed everybody and then just absorbed the school bus, right? As like, okay, now
it got added to his junk pile. Again, he's a backwoods hillbilly with acres of land. So he's gonna have junked out hulks on his property.
Yeah, of course.
There is gonna be a school bus on that property.
Right, either that or someone brought it to him.
Right,
like,
it was an offering. It was an offering.
Yeah.
Like, you're right, like the cop who is... God, Richard Burgi, who shows up in a lot of Eli Roth movies, but he was in I'm looking him up right now because he was in like a TV show. It was like The Profiler or something. The Sentinel. The Sentinel. Okay, he's the cop in this movie.
Okay.
But he says something to the effect of like, look, man, people go missing around here. We just never see him again. Or it's either him or it's the old lady he talks, Sam.
The old
Winchester
lady seems to know Jason.
The old lady knows Jason personally.
You get the vibes that Jason is simply part of the community.
That's exactly what I was about to say. He's the weird backwoods hillbilly that everybody knows. He doesn't bother anyone in the community, you know?
Yeah. No, I just realized my neighbor growing up. I'm just like, oh, Jason is living just like my neighbor growing up, where they had a bunch of junk cars in front. I never saw them. And they just owned all the land around, which they later sold and became millionaires. So so I realized like that could be Jason's future. Like he owns all this land, and one day he'll just sell it all to make McMansions and just move to Florida.
Everybody at least once has had Jason Voorhees as a neighbor.
Yeah,
like
it's true.
But also, like, just thinking about, like, you know, the Guy Ritchie movie, The Gentleman, where, like, part of and it's the same thing in the Netflix show. I haven't watched it yet. But anyway, the idea behind that is he has this vast weed growing network that's all underground. He's put it underground on estates of lords and ladies who need like extra money for the upkeep, so he pays them to keep quiet, and he puts all his stuff underground. So like Jason, and like this is not like the only. There's famous stories, like there's a Unsolved Mysteries that had this case on it, in fact, where like people would dig tunnels for like cocaine routes, all the way across like state lines, like long freaking tunnels. So like digging mole tunnels for your drug running operation is like standard practice. That's like textbook. Like Jason is just growing this. He is just moving weed. That's all he's doing. His job. That's what he does.
He's that neighbor who people are like, listen, he doesn't bother us. We don't bother him.
Yeah, just
it's
don't go on his property.
It's an easy rule. Just don't go on his property.
There's like 17 basketballs on his lawn.
Yeah.
That's gone. Countless baseballs. You're not. No. You're not going to get a Sandlot situation out of that. That baseball is gone.
Don't stick a pole in there. He'll yank you in.
Yeah, don't even do that.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, he's just growing that weed. It's like the first person he kills is Wade. Wade's pissing on his weed.
Oh, yeah, and he chops him. And then we have the bear trap, which I assume was already there. Again, it was guarding the weed.
Yeah. He just has it all around. They're like mine. He probably has mines. There are probably dirty bombs buried in Crystal Lake. Around 100%. Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
Like a fucking jar full of nails. Just real nasty shit.
Oh, yeah. He drags Amanda out, and I wanna deconstruct this.
Oh, yeah. So, this is a layered homage.
Yes, because basically Amanda is found tied up in her sleeping bag, being roasted over a fire. And I guess my question is, did he set up the contraption first, or was it improvised in the moment? Did he drag her out, stuff her in the sleeping bag, look at the fire, and go like, ooh, tie the rope around her, throw the rope over the tree, hoist her up? Or did he chop the guy, walk outside the tent, see that she was in there, and was like, ooh, I have an idea? Also, was the fire lit?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Fire was already lit.
Yeah.
That's a good point. He may have moved the bear trap.
He may have moved it.
Because it's a clear trap, right? He's hung her up over the fire, and it's like, oh, this will be funny.
Yeah, he trapped her. Yeah.
This will be funny.
And then he runs to his house real quick. Like he's doing this
That's an important thing to highlight too. The thing you just said, he runs.
Yes. And we'll get there's a funnier run coming up.
Jason runs. That's important.
First running Jason. But like I thought this was funny because I've done this in the Friday the 13th game. Basically I think Richie gets in this bear trap.
Yeah, it's Richie.
And his girlfriend is being burned. And normally you'd kill Richie. You'd kill Richie, right? But then you hear like, oh, someone's in my house. And I remember literally doing this during the Friday the 13th game where like a bear trap goes off, you go to that person, and then you hear like that someone took mother's sweater or something.
Yeah.
And you go like, or you see that someone took the boat or a car, and you're like, nope, I got to go over there.
Yeah, I got to go
That's
over there.
what he does. And he's like, you're not going anywhere, Richie. You're cool. I'll kill you later.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not moving.
Yeah, he stabs wildly through the bottom of the house, which was funny to me.
I loved that, yeah. He fucks that dude up.
He does. Is this the guy he drags like it's Sarlacc pit? Like he drags him into the floorboards?
Fucking Private Hudson's him.
Yeah.
Just drags him into the floor.
And then I laughed out loud when they go back to Richie. So like what Jason takes care of that, and again, he's multitasking. He's juggling, because the Richie death is the funniest. Where Richie is, she's trying to get him out. What's her name? Not Whitney.
Whitney, Whitney.
It is Whitney trying to get him out, and then behind him, Jason's just running
flat out,
and just chops him in the head.
Just plants it in his head.
The implication is that he's running around, right? He's like, gotta kill them. And he saw her getting him out of the trap, and he was like, no.
You see it. When she's running out of the house after he's pulled dick nuts into the floor, she sprints out, And as she runs down the steps and runs off, the camera lingers in the shot, and the trap door opens in front of the house, and he gets out.
Yeah.
So, like, he's just right behind her.
Yeah. And he's just like, no. No.
And I love
and then
Richie's just looking at him like he doesn't even react.
Yeah,
he's just like,
he doesn't
what?
even say anything to her.
Well, it's
yeah.
It's like I mean, we already talked about Alien, but it's like when Harry Dean Stanton gets killed in Alien because he's not sure
what he's seeing.
He doesn't know what he's looking at. Yeah, so like, he's looking at this fucking linebacker with a potato sack on his head, just sprinting out of the dark. It's like the scene in Get Out.
Right, and it's like his mind, like, it doesn't have enough time. Like, he saw his girlfriend hung up and killed.
Oh yeah, he's got a lot going on.
In his head, he probably, somewhere deep inside of him, does he realize there's a killer? But it probably just, it hasn't clicked. You know what I mean?
It's so compartmentalized at that. Right, like,
yeah, exactly.
Not only is his girlfriend roasted alive, but he was stuck in a bear trap right in front of it, ostensibly to force him to watch.
Right, but in his mind, it's like the bear trap could have been an accident. Like, he's in survival mode is the point.
Yeah, I gotta get out of this. I gotta get her out of the fire. I gotta get out of this trap. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's not even thinking about why these things are happening. It's a very beautiful moment for Richie.
It's a great moment. Great moment for Richie.
Then he goes to chop Whitney, and they cut away. What we learn is that he doesn't chop her. So that means he did like a made you flinch, or he stopped because he was like, "Hey, I know you." Like, it was just a moment, and then I assume he dragged her away, and that was that.
He must just dragged her underground, yeah. Although they showed it in all the trailers, and the cut is, man, there is, like, he winds up.
It's a hell of a stop.
Yeah, if he stops, that's what I was getting to. Like, there's no freaking way he stopped his arm, because he winds up, like, from his right hand is all the way like down below his hip. Like, he winds up like he's trying to throw a baseball through a church.
Right. That's why it's like, even it's more realistic that he's doing a major flinch, because I'm like, he couldn't have stopped himself.
Yeah, right. It had to have just missed, but like,
missed is funny. Jason
or he just redirected it. I'll accept.
Yeah.
But man,
either way,
he'd have to put his own arm in front of the machete to stop it at that point.
Oh, yeah. Either way, he has her, right? And he has her in this little den. Mm-hmm. And how long does he have her?
A month. We learned from Clay / Sam Winchester that she's been gone a month.
She should be way crazier down there by the time we find her.
Mm-hmm. She should be way more malnourished, because Lord knows what Jason thinks people eat.
That's what I was wondering. Because I'm like,
because it's not what he eats.
Yeah. Well, that's the question, right? Is what is Jason feeding her? She looks, and she's been drinking and eating, and you're right. It's like she seems like she looks okay. She can run away, but at the end, she's energetic.
She needs she needs some help from Clay from Sam for a bit.
But she's doing all right. So I'm so curious. Is it all s'mores? I imagine only s'mores.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's all
like s'mores and peanut butter and bug juice. Like, he takes his money and goes into town to like the Family Dollar. Like, he comes, like, that's how everybody knows him. Like, Jason comes to town once a month to do his grocery shopping. He always buys. It seems like he's stocking up for a children's birthday party every time he comes in.
It's a situation where he goes in, he grabs $30 worth of things, and he holds out $200.
He just holds
and they just
out.
sort of take it, and they're like, "Listen, it's fine. He's fine." Again, we're not bothering him. Yeah. He pays well.
Not bothering anyone. Yeah, he's giving us a 700% tip. Nobody tell him.
Yeah. Nobody tell him.
It's okay. I don't think he understands the concept of ownership. Yeah. Well, I mean, he understands that he owns his weed.
Yeah. But yeah, whatever he's feeding her, my God, a month of that.
Yeah.
What if it was really good? What if it was like really well plated
like an
food?
Excellent cook.
Yeah, it's like the one thing he's good at.
It's like like his Beauty and the Beast thing. Like she's dazzled by it.
Yeah. So then we cut to present day, and the next time Jason gets upset is I think he found his weed ruined. Like the wood chipper guy took his weed, it seems.
Yes, that is what provokes his rage this time.
Yep.
It's the dude in the barn. Sam comes in there to ask him, "Hey, have you seen my sister?" He's like, "No, but I did find a whole bunch of weed back there. Do you want to buy some of it?" So like,
right. He also specifies he's not the owner, and I'm like, I think the implication is that he's new to town, because otherwise you wouldn't take that weed. You know,
nope,
like you wouldn't take Jason's weed. Yeah.
Nope.
So
but
yeah,
that's why Jason comes out of his grotto. His underground warren, and kills this dude in the barn and gets his hockey mask because this guy is fucking stealing his weed.
Yeah. And in a way, Jason probably doesn't feel uncomfortable here because this guy lives exactly like Jason, more or less. He gets killed in his pervert attic.
Yeah, it's not like...
Well, we'll get into it. But
Jason and this guy might have been friends in another life.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, maybe he betrayed Jason and they were friends. I don't know.
This guy could have been Jason.
Yeah.
Like if he was looking in the mirror and then pulled on the hockey mask, I would have been like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. That's where Jason came from. So that mask probably has that guy's jizz on it because it's in his pervert attic, but whatever.
Yeah, with the mannequin, he explicitly fucks.
Yeah.
And is about to fuck before Jason comes and is like, all right, man, I was hiding back there, but I got to put a stop to this.
Yeah. I was going to wait, but I can't. Jason
I was
hears
back here recording to show it to my cartel buddies, but you know what? This is just too damn weird. If I feel bad about it now. Sorry.
Jason then hears a boat, and he goes to the shore, and I'm pretty sure he watches the boat and goes, "I bet I could nail that guy.
Bet I could hit that guy.
Yeah.
I bet I could hit TV's Ryan Hansen.
Yeah.
Party Down's Ryan Hansen."
And he does.
He does, and nails him right through the eye.
Yeah.
Jason got his archery badge.
Yeah. Then he just waits. The boat nails the girl, and you know you must be like, this is the best fucking day of my life.
You know he was standing on the bank, and the boat hits her. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Then he just waits on the shore.
He just waits.
And watches her swim away. She swims under a dock, and Jason pretends to not know she's under there, which I think is very funny. He does this a lot, where someone's hiding, and it's like a child playing hide and seek, where Jason's like, it's adorable. They think I can't hear them.
Man,
whimpering.
Where is she?
Yeah.
Where's Willa Ford? Where's she? I don't know. Gosh, I guess I better walk away. And he's like, he might as well be doing the fake footstep thing.
He stabs her right through the thing.
This is a pretty good stab. If you're going to do a stab, this is a fun way to do one.
This is also the beginning of a pattern for Jason. He has great aim today. In general,
he's on a roll, man. He was probably going to go to Atlantic City after this.
Yeah. Then
Jersey.
He comes home. We see him go home, lugging the body after his long day.
Whose body was that? It's headless.
I think it's...
he hasn't decapitated anyone.
Did
he just do that after the fact, just to be weird?
Yeah, I guess. Maybe. That is a great question. I thought it was the chick.
Well, I mean, later on, I might be jumping ahead, but it's when Sam and Killer Frost from The Flash are hiding underneath a truck, and they see Jason come home, and he throws the body down in front of him. That's the headless body, so I may be jumping ahead.
Oh, maybe, because I think this is the first time they find he lugs a body to the cabin. I know that, and like he's getting wood, and I could have sworn there was the Sam Winchester and the lady hiding, because that's when they're like, "There's a killer," you know?
Oh yeah. So that's the headless body.
Yeah,
I don't know whose body that is.
I don't know. He senses that there's a babe and hunk there, and he switches on his searchlights.
He sees Sam's bag.
Oh, right.
That's what he senses.
What a dipshit Sam is.
I know.
And the searchlights, I gotta say, Jason wired this place up. It didn't occur to me. He probably has an irrigation system for the weed, too.
He has to. You see how healthy that stuff was?
Yeah.
It was 4 feet high and thick.
Right.
Lustrous.
And There's something about Jason doing wiring to me that is specifically Jason changing light bulbs, having to be really gentle and careful.
Up there like a line worker, like with the spiked boots so he can climb up the power line and be like, fuck, he's a hillbilly. Who am I kidding? He leaned a ladder against that pole is what he did. But it's like he's just this like super resourceful dude. Like he's basically just a doomsday prepper, I guess. He lives like a doomsday prepper because he grows copious amounts of weed. It's
How
delightful.
Old is...
Real quick, what I was trying to get to is just the fact that he immediately goes to the searchlight was also weirdly funny to me, because it's like
it doesn't feel Jason. It's like he can just see in the
it feels like Jason, like if this was like a legacy sequel, you know how like in the Halloween legacy sequel it flashes forward to like Jamie Lee Curtis living in her bunker that she's completely kitted out for another Michael Myers encounter. Like this feels like that version of Jason, like 20 years later. You check back in on Jason and he's like really honed his skill. Like he's like, let's see one of those fuckers get out of Crystal Lake now. I want to see one of them teens make it out of my camp.
It's like it's like Terminator Dark Fate, was that one called? Where Arnold the Terminator has been married and like had carried out his thing, and so he's just been existing and growing. It's that feeling of like, Jason was just left to like slowly learn, like, and it's like he figured this shit out. He watched some YouTube videos or something.
On YouTube, probably went to the library.
Yeah, he's like figured out wiring and stuff. He's just been like, he's had no one to kill lately, so he's like,
he gets them periodically, but like we get the sense that it's pretty sporadic because, you know, most people know to stay the hell away from Camp Crystal Lake.
Right. He goes to Whitney and throws the bag at her like a little gift, and I just thought that was a funny thing for him to do.
It's like he's
just like, here, you people like stuff. Here's stuff.
Here, it's people stuff. Here.
Yeah, exactly. He tosses at her. Like. He also tosses at her kind of in a resentful way, like they're in a loveless marriage. And I thought that was funny because he like bitterly tosses it at her. And it occurred to me, like, what is Jason trying to achieve with Whitney? Does he think it's his mom?
I think he's like confused by it, but
right. And then he's like, why are you acting so shitty towards me? Like the feeling is like he doesn't want her there. You know what I mean? Like he's not using her as bait. It's like
he's just keeping her. I think it's
like a cat he found.
So basically, yeah, I think that's because like Jason, if you like, he never 100% buys it in the original, right? He's like, I feel like this is bullshit, but maybe. So I think like he's just trying to figure out. It's like, are you my mom?
Right. There's nothing sexual about it.
No.
Thank
Jason
goodness.
is an asexual being. He has been from the start. And the point of he famously murders people who have sex around him.
Exactly. He hates it. It feels like from the weed grower perspective,
hates
it's
the skin
almost
noises.
Right. I no, from the weed growing perspective, it's almost like he's like, well, you can't go out blabbing to people about my grow farm, but I don't want to kill you because you kind of look like my mom. So I'm just going to put you down here because I think you're like, again, it's like a pet where it's like, I kind of like this one. Like it's like the chicken that you don't slaughter at the farm that you're like, we like that chicken. We're keeping that chicken.
That's Mr. Cluck.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think he's just confused.
Yeah.
Like he sees, like she says his name and that always gets him.
Right.
So I think like not many people say his name to him.
Yeah.
So that seems to fuck with him a lot. Like maybe, I don't know. Like maybe she knows my name. It must be mom. She kind of looks like her, but wait, mom's dead.
Man, right. Or he's just like, do I know her?
Right.
Do I know her?
Also, does he really understand death?
Who can say?
Yeah. But anyway, I think he's mad about the bag because he doesn't find them. I took that as it. That's how I interpreted that. Like he throws the bag down because he's angry he didn't find.
Yeah, he's
the
like,
hunk
your friends
that he
are
knows is there.
Right, and he knows they're looking for her. Like it shows some intelligence. Like he's like,
presumably
look,
he knows
someone's
they're
looking for you.
her, yeah.
I'm gonna kill them.
Yeah.
Like it's that vibe where he's like mocking or teasing her.
I also like that he snaps on the floodlights, and the first thing he does after that is, he's looking around, snapping his head on a swivel, and then he just starts slapping the canoes off the rack. He's like, fucking hiding in the canoes.
Yeah. Oh, Jason.
Which I think doesn't she hide in the canoes in the first one? Anyway.
She might, yeah. There's a version of this Jason where if you took off the meth, he'd just be some guy who could talk like a meth head. Like
he's just some maniac, yeah. That's like just reads the Turner Diaries and is deep into survivalist stuff on the dark corners of the web. Yeah,
yeah. Well, it's 2009, so he'd be a little early in there. He'd listen to like Korn. I feel like Jason would listen to Korn.
Oh yeah,
nothing against Korn. I just feel like Jason would listen to Korn.
Yeah,
definitely. He'd watch Slipknot and go, "That's offensive." That's like...
Yeah, that's appropriation. It's cultural appropriation.
Anyway, so he finds Chewie in the work shed because Chewie's fucking loud. And Jason does a very funny thing. He just kind of shoves him.
Yeah.
He bullies Chewie.
Yeah.
He shoves him around for a while, kills him, and then hangs his body upside down, and he sets a body trap.
Yeah, he likes doing that.
Yeah. Then he finds the sex, finally. He watches through the window, and this was funny to me because he watches through the window at the sex, and you'd think he'd go right in there, and he goes just like, no. And walks around the house, apparently, and shuts off the power. Because it's him looking at the sex and going like, everybody in this house is going to die.
Stealing my weed and sex?
Yeah.
Like he sees Lawrence's bong in there on the table. He's like, motherfucker.
Right. And he's just like, be calm, take some breaths, shut off the power.
Yep.
And get to work.
You're going to get them all, Jason. They're never going to stop you. They're never going to stop you. Nobody can stop you.
He throws an axe. Well, Lawrence cuts him in the leg, and Jason reacts to that. And I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Jason has a legitimate like, oh shit moment.
Yeah. He gets cut.
Yeah, it occurs to me, I guess this could have gone anywhere, but this is a horror trope. There's a point where everybody knows he's outside, and there's like 5 of them, and they're like, don't go outside. Oh my God, he's going to get you. And it's like, I think all 5 of you could probably beat him down. Like,
yeah, that occurred to me too, because like, especially like Sam is being super like, no, we can't go out there.
Right.
So I feel like all of you could just start hitting them with logs or something. Like there's this little firewood stack out there. I don't know.
He doesn't seem to have a gun, and you have a gun. So maybe this isn't a big problem. But no, they're like, they split up, they run, they do all this stuff.
Right,
Jason
they're treating him like a werewolf. They're treating him like they already know who Jason Voorhees is.
Right. If someone told me Jason Voorhees is outside, I wouldn't go out and to fight him.
Right.
But they don't know that's who he is. Yeah. Jason throws an axe. Again, very good aim. Right into Lawrence.
Incredible aim.
Yeah.
Like he leads him. Because Lawrence is zigzagging up a hill.
I think Jason's been axe throwing a lot because he doesn't have much to do. So he's just doing I think what it is that he lives at this camp, right? And he doesn't he's stunted, but he's also bored, right? And so if you were bored and you lived at a camp, you'd walk around. What is there to do? The shit that's left at the camp. So you'd see the archery stuff and you go, I guess I'll learn archery. Like, I guess I'll throw some axes.
He's making his own badges.
Yeah, exactly.
He has a little thing with all of his badges on it, a little sash.
Right. He sneaks into the house while they're all debating going outside, which I thought was funny. Only because they seem to think there's some sort of separation here. Where they're like, don't go outside. He wants you to go outside. And he's just like, well, I'll come in. It's fine, guys.
What I liked about that is like he sets Lawrence as bait, but nobody comes outside. So then he kills Lawrence, and then we see him up on the roof.
Yes. Well, yeah. Well, no, that comes later. So what happens?
It's after he kills Lawrence.
No, he kills the girl with the hook. He impales her on the hook, right?
That's because he's on the roof, and he climbs in through the upstairs window. Because
he throws someone from the roof, too. So here's what I wrote down. So he kills someone with a hook, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then the cop comes and says, "Police, open up." Jason goes, "Oh shit," and jumps from the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is what's funny about it, because he'll later go back up to the roof. So he jumps from the roof. He does like a flip. No, he doesn't do a flip.
He jumps straight from the roof down, yeah.
He has a fire poker. So
I thought it was one of his arrows.
Maybe it's an arrow.
I think it's an arrow.
The wiki says fire poker.
Oh, the wiki's lying.
Maybe it's the weather vane.
I don't know. I think it's just one of his arrows.
So he stabs the guy in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very funny because Jason has some knowledge of police, where he's just like, "Fuck the cops!"
Yeah,
and he
does.
jumps down. Yeah,
because he's got a fucking huge weed farm. So like, as soon as he sees the cop driving up, he stops what he's doing. Like he pauses his teen killing rampage. He's like, "Oh fuck the cops! I got to go take care of this."
Yeah.
But anyway, my point was like his trap was clearly he was going to wait on the roof for somebody to come out to help Lawrence and then jump down upon them. And then when he didn't get to do that, he just does it to the cop.
Yes.
He really
There's
wanted
a
to do
vibe.
That.
Well, this is what's funny about it is so he goes upstairs, he hooks the girl, goes to the roof, jumps off the hook, stabs the cop, and then they run out of the house and he throws the girl from the roof onto the cop car.
Yep.
So that means Jason, here's what I think happened. It's sort of like it's what you said. It's like in Assassin's Creed. If you like try to do an assassination, you fuck it up and you're like, well, I'm going to try that again. He jumped off the roof because he got panicked, killed the cop. He must have already dragged the dead girl up there and was getting ready to drop her body, or he was setting up a trap.
She was still on the hooks upstairs.
Whose body does he throw?
It's the girl's bodies. Remember when they're coming out, they try to check in the room to find her, and Troy shoots through the door.
She's still in there.
Yeah, so he just goes. He's upstairs again and just throws her through the window. Yeah, because her body's still upstairs.
But I think he went to the roof again because they looked to the roof.
Yeah. He probably just carried her out on the roof.
So Jason, okay. So Jason killed her. He went to the roof, got ready. He didn't jump from the window to the cop, did he?
No. He hooks her. And then he looks over out the window and sees the cop car coming up. Car. So presumably he climbs out onto the roof right from there and then waits for the cop to come to the door.
Jumps on the cop.
Jumps down behind him, stabs him through the eye, through the peephole.
Yes.
Really great aim tonight.
And then he sneaks back around.
Climbs back onto the roof.
Yeah. And he climbs into that room, gets her body, brings it to the room. And he does this part in like 30 fucking seconds.
Yeah.
He's very fast. Grabs her body, gets back to the roof. He hasn't had enough roof. Drops her on the cop car, which apparently means the cop car's broken because they just don't go back to it. He's playing like 4D chess here, Jason is.
There's even more to it. If you remember, like they go out when our last three here, it's Troy, the just raging dickhead boyfriend, Sam Winchester, and Killer Frost. They run outside and Sam starts checking the cop. He's like, no gun and no keys. Jason took the cop's gun and keys.
You're right. Holy shit. He is running around.
He
must be so tired.
There's probably a deleted scene of him taking the handgun apart like fucking Solid Snake.
Yeah.
Like, this is a Jason we've not seen before, Dave. He knew to take the keys.
He's so tired.
He took the gun and the keys.
He's known generators. He knows he's known to break things, but yeah. So then he
this Jason definitely understands how power works.
Right. He runs to the truck. He impales that kid on the truck. And at this point, like, he must be and this is where he sees that they like stole his mother captive. And so that must have given him a second wind. But it's all to say he's got to be exhausted at this point.
Well, yeah. See what happens. He throws the body on the car. They split up, right? Troy runs one direction through the woods, and Sam and Killer Frost run the other direction. So Trent. I'm sorry, Trent. He looks like a Troy. I think his name is Troy in Meet the Spartans. Oh no, it's not. Anyway, he follows Trent.
Right.
So he catches up with Trent and body presses him onto a tow truck, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Which gives meanwhile, Sam and Killer Frost go down into his lair, and they're freeing his sister. And as they're pickaxing her chains, Jason Bass comes back down through one of his hatches, and he's like, "Wait, what the fuck? What the fuck?"
Right.
Mother captive.
Yeah. And then he just beats the shit out of Clay in the school bus. He just starts tossing him around because he's
jumped
so
ahead
mad.
a bit. Because they're getting her out of the cave, and this is when the Killer Frost gets stabbed, who you thought was going to be one of the final girls, but not.
Yeah.
Then they get up out into the bus, and this is where Sam gets his fucking ass kicked.
Yeah,
he shoves his head through 2 different windows.
Yeah, he's not trying to kill him. He's just mad at him.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna kill him, but he's not in actively.
He's making him feel it for a sec.
Right. And then they get to the shed, the barn, and he smashes through the window to grab Sam. Fun little grab.
He's got a little scythe, and he stabs him a couple times with it.
Yeah. And then, of course, the wood chipper's there, and Jason, you can tell he's piecing it together. He's like, all right.
This is happening.
Yeah. They really yuck his yum with the wood chipper.
He tries to feed Sam to the wood chipper.
And then what's her name? Whitney is like, no, it's Mother. And he has the moment
says
where
his
he's like,
name again.
Right.
She
And he
says
stops
Jason.
and he goes like, fuck, are you my mom?
Yeah.
But then he gets stabbed. And then he goes to the lake to heal. And
they wrap a chain around his neck and throw the chain into the wood chipper so it hangs him.
Right.
And then he is stabbed.
Right. And then the lake heals him, the power of the lake.
Yeah, for some reason they decide to roll his body into the lake.
I was saving that for the next scene, but next section, but I'll just say it now. What are they covering up?
Yeah.
The murder of Jason?
Why? Yeah.
What are they afraid the cops? They're like, it's actually counterintuitive because all their friends are dead.
Yeah.
And the person who killed them, they're covering up his body, and it's like, no, you need that.
Yeah, don't kick him in the lake.
You need to say to the cops, this guy. It's like, what? Like, the cops are going to be like, where is he? And they're like, we put him in the lake. And the cops will be like, why? It seems like you killed your friends now.
To wash off all the evidence.
Yeah. Why do they do that? It's the funniest thing.
I have no idea. It's so weird.
Yeah. But yeah, Jason dies embarrassed, I think, because he gets caught in that wood chipper that he was going to use, and it's just very. He also doesn't die, but
no, but that is kind of embarrassing. Oh, also earlier he takes Oh, actually, no, this is the same stretch of time, I think. But he also takes Clay's motorcycle keys. Sam's motorcycle keys. So he's really up on, you fuckers are not driving away. I know how this works.
Yeah.
I'm going to add these. That's how he has so many vehicles on his property.
Oh, yeah. He just keeps taking keys. Even neighbors, they just know, listen, don't park your car. He might not even kill you. He'll just grab your keys.
It's his car.
He wants your car. Yeah. Yeah. You're not going to go get your keys back.
No, man. It's just gone.
Yeah. Should we talk about the second best monsters?
Yes.
I wrote down Michael Bay.
Sure.
Yeah. Technically, he probably wins. So many white people.
There's a lot of monsters, man. Okay.
Yeah. So I have group 1 and group 2 separated.
Okay. Yeah, we'll start with group 1.
I like that group 1 is out looking for fabled weed.
Yeah, mythical weed.
That's very funny.
It's the Fellowship of the Weed.
Right, which is a common slasher thing that I've seen before. Richie and Amanda have the weird daddy fetish.
Yeah, for next to Richie, I just have Sex Man.
Yeah, I also noted there's just a funny part where someone says this lake, Crystal Lake, and he's like, so what? There's a lot of lakes named Crystal Lake, I bet. And I was like, is there? It's weird. That's not it's just when you think about it for a second, you're like, no, there isn't.
There might be. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
It just seems like such a generic name for a lake that.
Yeah.
Or an obvious name, rather.
Yeah. He's fine with his friend watching him fuck.
He has a strange relationship, with his friend.
Yeah, his girlfriend basically has to be like, no, you can't, you gotta
this is not
go out there.
He's not like taking too long on his turn with the Game Boy, man. Like, you need to go out there and.
But if she didn't say anything, he would have been fine with it.
Yeah.
I like his line, I'm not going out there with a boner, because I understand that.
Yeah,
nature, you do not want to be in nature with an erection.
No, you don't want to have like a serious conversation with a friend while you have a boner either. It's like nobody can take you seriously.
Yeah. Amanda is like, she might kill somebody if she doesn't fuck. She is painfully horny.
Yeah. Violently so.
Yeah, she takes out her boobs. This is the thing.
She takes out her boobs like a switchblade.
Yeah, at the campfire with the friend. And then she's like, is he watching and jerking off? And it's like, you've kind of involved him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like, it's fine to, it's fine to be uncomfortable with it. It's just like, it's weird. You're being weird.
It's weird that you're drawing a sudden line after you guys were all but fucking each other the entire day.
Right, and it seemed like she was like you're getting naked in front of this dude and his friend. That's a weird thing to do. Wait until they're in private then. I don't know.
Strange group dynamic.
Wade, the nerd, which, man, they don't make him like they used to. He's just like a model with glasses.
I just have written down he's proto Jack Quaid.
Yeah, you're right.
He says the R slur almost immediately.
Of course.
Is the only sexless member of the group.
Yep.
Leads the group here for a mythical weed harvest. This guy has absolutely nothing in his life. Jason Mercy kills him. That's what I have written on the page.
Mike, just some guy. The only thing about Mike that I want to note, it doesn't make him a maniac. It actually, I get him a little bit. He finds this abandoned camp and he's like, come on, I bet there's some cool shit in there. And I'm like, what cool shit? And then, like, dead birds? What are you looking for? And then he goes in.
Like an old shopping cart?
Right. And he's like, yeah, it's like fucking Charlie and Frank and Always Sunny.
Yeah.
Because he does go in there and he's like, look at all this cool old stuff. He says, it was like he was dragged here from another century. And it's like, do you not get the concept of an abandoned place? Like, he's so fascinated with it. It's just very funny.
Yeah. He's a Zoomer in 2009.
Yeah. Whitney is the one who dumps Jason in the lake, like she covered up. Like, she's covering up evidence, so.
Yeah, I have no idea why she and her brother do this.
Yeah.
It's like, well, there's this burial at sea.
That's all I have for group one. Any other?
Yeah, no, that's it. You pretty much nailed everyone.
All right.
I do like that Jason hacks Wade's ear off.
Yeah, that's very funny. Yeah. Well, he's going to keep that ear. He keeps an ear every now and then.
Did he hack it off, do you think, or did he pull it off?
Pull. I think he pulled it off.
Yeah.
Group two, there's, of course, Jenna.
Wade peed on his weed, so, you know.
Yeah, he's going to yank off. Jenna is... Jenna and Trent. So they, for very two different reasons, Jenna and Trent are two people where I'm like, why are you here? Jenna is dating Trent, who is the biggest asshole in the world. She's only apologizing for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept being like, you don't like
Why
him.
are they dating? Yeah, like she doesn't... He is like, all I have written down next to Trent is just a psychopath, a relentless psychopath. Like
he's Patrick Bateman.
Yeah, he is out of his mind, like aggressive, just shitty. Like he's pathologically just a rage-filled asshole.
Yes, he is. Again, it's another one of like, why did you do this? Because basically it's his cabin he brings all his friends to, and then he is just disgusted by the concept of humans.
He brings all his friends there to yell at them.
Right, and it's like, why did you do this? He leans in, he's like, you don't drive my boat. And he's just like weird and protective of everything. He hates that this guy is looking for his missing sister.
Yeah.
He's like, hey man.
Just irrationally. Well, no, it's not irrational. I think what it is he sees this gigantic male model walk into the movie and he's like, oh shit.
Right.
I better defend my territory.
He fucks he fucks Chelsea while Jenna is gone.
Just like says, because.
Yeah, quote, your tits are so juicy, dude. And, quote, you got perfect nipple placement, baby, he says during bed. They're both sociopaths. Hem and Chelsea are both. They're it's American Batemans. Psycho.
Yeah.
Filming themselves fucking like, yeah, we're so beautiful. It's good that they're dead.
They might as well be chewing on the same dog toy.
Yes. It's so good they're dead because otherwise they're going to cut healthcare for so many people when they're older. They will.
Oh, it's for the best that they were both smote by Jason.
Yeah. But Jenna is the bigger mystery because she's like, I'm so sorry. He's such an asshole. And it's like,
we don't know anything about Jenna.
No, but she's on vacation with this guy. I feel like she wants his money. But then
it seems like they like all we know about Jenna is that she's apologizing for Trent. And she wants to help Clay find his sister.
Right.
That's it. And it doesn't make any sense why she would be dating this just, my God.
So I have a theory.
This cartoon asshole.
I have a theory. I think Jenna is trying to get murdered. I think she gets what she wants in the end. She's dating Trent, who feels like he's going to kill her.
Oh, maybe he chokes her. Maybe that's like the thing.
Right. But
and so
then
she sees Clay, and he's like, "Oh, he's even more dangerous."
That's the thing. She runs into Clay, and then she decides to join him all day to go walk in the woods to look for his sister that she's just trusting. He has. It reminded me of Supernatural, of the babes in that, where they're like, "Don't go alone with them."
Right. He sensitive hunked her. He sensitive hunked her.
Yeah, he leads her to an abandoned cabin.
Yeah.
And not once is she like, I wonder if this guy is going to kill me.
Right. They cut to a wide shot. Like it was, because I was thinking the same thing too, because like since we started doing Himbos, all I can think of when I see him is just, he's Sam and we're doing an episode of Himbos. But like, he sensitive himbos her out there, because I'm just looking for, I just want to try to find my sister. I'd love some company. And they're out there combing through the woods with a stack of missing posters, which is just, that's got to be at least putting the idea in her mind. But they cut to like this wide shot of them walking through the forest. And like, I comment a lot on Sam being a Sasquatch, but like he is literally twice her size.
He's a terrifying.
Right, it looks like she's leading a circus bear through the forest. Yeah. It looks like she's being stalked by Slender Man.
Right, and this is a weird detail, but she's on vacation, and what I mean by that's weird, is like this isn't like a cruise ship where you're all in the same space. She got there in someone else's car. And she just vanishes for a day with this guy in a place she's unfamiliar with. And like, even if this guy turns out to be nice, Trent might just bail for all she knows. Like, it's weird to like be on vacation and then abandon your group to go just off for an entire day without telling anyone that you're doing that. Like, she's so easy to murder.
That's probably how she met Trent, right? Like she was probably out with another group of friends and Trent came riding up on a motorcycle and like fucking pissed in her boyfriend's face there. Yeah. And she just hopped on the back and rode off.
She hasn't been home in 10 years. She's just on vacation, like vacation hopping. Because this is another moment that I don't know what this says, but she walks out with Clay from the summer house and she says to Clay, "Where's your car?" As they're walking towards his motorcycle and she's facing his motorcycle and she's about 5 feet from the motorcycle. And then he has to say, "Oh, I ride a motorcycle." And she's like, "Oh." And I just thought it's like, what does she think the motorcycle is that he's walking towards? I don't know.
Right after it, he says, "Oh, well, no, but I do have her." And he gets on. It's like, and she says, "Oh, does this thing run?" "No, I pushed it here. Yeah. I just, I like to just carry it around with me,
Like there's something wrong with her. Like there's just something happening to her in her brain. I don't like. Maybe she's like a dog that swap bodies with a person. She just seems to go where she's led by these monumental pricks. So I don't know, man.
No, you're
we
right.
Talked about Trent.
She makes a lot more sense to me now. You're right. We sneakily did learn a lot about her.
We did. Bree looks exactly like Chelsea because these white people.
Yeah, man.
Filmmaking is her life. She keeps shooting. She's the filmmaking one. She shoots the porn.
She sure does.
At the party, she dances sexily, and you get that feeling that it's like a shotgun blast of sex. You're either in the way or you're not. You know what I mean? Like you're in the path.
She really is just like throwing a gauntlet down.
Right, because she goes towards Chewie at first.
Yeah.
And then Chewie leaves. He breaks the chair and leaves, and so she just goes right to Trent. She's a fuck monster.
Yeah. A fuck octopus.
Yeah. That's all I have for her.
Mm-hmm. Like a star child. A star demon.
Yeah. Nolan, who looks like Matthew McConaughey and Dazed and Confused.
That's Ryan Hansen.
Yep, with his fuck Christmas shirt.
Yeah, man. It's so funny he's in this.
Yeah. Listen, Nolan's all right.
Nolan's fine, man. I was happy for Nolan and Chelsea. Was that her name?
Yeah.
They were just having a nice vacation. Like they're out driving in their like SUV, and he's like, if Trent thinks I'm not taking that boat, he's a stupid asshole.
Right. This is one
we're gonna go have fun while they're all being uptight in there. They went topless water skiing, man. Like
right.
That's one of my favorite parts of the movie, actually. Is he's driving the boat and she's water skiing and she's topless, and he turns around and sees that she's topless, and he's like, "Ho!" And then he takes his shirt off. Favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, because he's not dating. They're not dating. This is
Are they not?
The implication is that he's into her, I guess. I don't know. It's again.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Because they're being flirty on the drive over there.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, does that? And is it weird that I think that you're stealing Trent's boat is sexy?"
No, this is the line that's fucking baffling. So he says, and I'm with him on this side. Trent's like, "Don't touch my boat," and he's like, "I'm gonna fucking touch his boat. I can take Trent. I'll beat him down.
Sink his boat."
Yeah, but then he says, what does that say about me to Chelsea? And she replies, "It means you're a sociopath." Now, what does it say about me that I find that hot?
That's right.
And it's like, all right, come on. We're not 14-year-old goths.
Yeah.
Like, calm down,
and also,
Chelsea. It doesn't mean you're a sociopath.
Right. Of the people in this group, let's not label poor Nolan as the sociopath. Yeah. He is not.
Chelsea's a real edgelord.
Yeah, you guys are I'm 14 and this is deep, but you guys are edgy.
Yeah. Lawrence.
They're the only one who are trying to actually no, it's those two, Lawrence and Chewie, are the people who are trying to have a nice vacation.
Yeah. Well, Lawrence has a couple things. One, this is more of the writers, but
I bet we have his first two lines?
His first two scenes and lines. Yep. You say it.
They're just jokes about him being black.
Yes. Lawrence is the only black guy in the movie, and his first two lines are, "I'm the black guy in the movie."
Yeah.
And it's like, this is more about the writers.
Yeah.
But it's like, guys,
they're both
the guy's
variations
like, "Hey, Lawrence,
of the same
can you pump
joke,
the gas?"
too.
Yeah, and he goes, "Is it because I'm black?"
Right. Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
It's
like,
no.
Oh, I got to pump the gas because I'm the black guy, and then like later it's like, oh, my music label has to be rap because I'm the black guy.
Because I'm the black guy.
It's like it's the
and
same
it's like,
joke.
Lawrence. Yeah, and then they're like, "What's the music?" And he's like, he's also planning to do business on his vacation. And I was like, that's not good.
I mean, also we got a couple of things with Lawrence.
But it's real like 2000s only black guy where they were trying to like do it ironically, but it just feels gross and weird.
This feels dated even for 2009, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of Shark Night. Shark Night has one of the...
I have almost no memory of Shark Night.
Shark Night has one of the weirdest moments to me where there is a black character who keeps talking about the streets. And he's the only... I think there's multiple black characters, but then his girlfriend dies and he gets mad at the shark. And there's a scene where he takes a spear off the wall and goes, "I'm going to show them how we do it down at the streets." And I'm like, that feels very racist. That you gave the black guy a spear and he's like, "This is how we do it from my neighborhood." And I'm like, what are we doing, Shark Night? what are we doing now?
That feels so specific. I gotta believe that was an accident, but
me too. I assume it was an accident because it's like Chekhov's spear on the wall.
Yeah,
but it was
what
just
else are you gonna use on a shark?
Yeah, where it's like, what is going on, Shark Knight?
Like, because that line would have been racist anyway, right?
Yeah, the street stuff felt very forced and like.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus
One
Christ.
Black character has to say that. Yeah, but anyway, that's Lawrence.
That's not Lawrence.
That's but one shade of his personality.
Yeah, the other shade is he decides to masturbate in the living room while drunk.
He's like a jerk off monster. Like he's like
he can't wait.
Yeah,
he has to pump one out right there and then.
There's too much sex around him. Like he can hear everybody fucking in the next room, so he's like, screw it, I'm gonna take a hit off this bong and jerk off to this Land's End catalog.
Yeah. That's how desperate he is. He's like, I can't stop and find porn. I got to grab this catalog. I'm not going to go to the bathroom with it.
Listen,
I have
this
to jerk
nut
it
is
off
busting
right now.
one way or the other, man. It's
exactly
coming. Like he's about to give birth.
And then someone walks in because he hasn't locked anything. He's in the middle of a fully lit living room.
Right, he's just in the living room.
There are people he know are still awake and out. Like he's not out there in his sleeping bag and everybody's asleep or something.
He's at like a weekend cabin vacation with like 7 of his friends, and he's just about to wail on his hog in the common room.
Yeah,
with all the lights on.
Yeah, it's very strange.
It is bizarre. And then he starts to turn away from the moose head on the wall.
Yeah, turn towards it at that point.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah,
just bend over.
Make the moose watch.
Yeah,
yeah. There's Chewie, his friend, his stoner friend. Are they calling him Chewie? Is he named Chewie? Is he call himself Chewie? They just call him Chewie.
That's the only name we're given.
Yeah. He buys condoms and they say, what's that for? And he says, an experiment. It's not for sex. And I'd push him more on that. I'd say, all right, let's get some more information.
Like a weather vane?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Are we gonna power a potato with we're gonna power a light bulb with a potato and a condom?
Yeah. He's one of those dudes who owns a elaborate, expensive bong.
Yeah.
His toast is here's to daddy shoes and fucking douchebags, which I don't mind that toast, but I want to know more. It's an angry toast.
Oh yeah, well he's ripping on Trent because Trent's a Titanic asshole.
Oh right. People call him the Wood Wizard, apparently.
Right, that comes out of nowhere. Apparently he's like just a fucking master woodworker. So he goes out to the shed to be like, I'm going to go get a lathe and fix your dad's chair.
Yeah, I love how much fun he has in the work shed. He doesn't even turn on the lights.
I like Chewie. He's enjoying himself.
Yeah, he really is. He starts playing make-believe in the work shed, basically.
And he's just ripping on Trent the whole time.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sam?
Him and Lawrence hang out together like Donatello and Michelangelo.
They are the coolest dudes.
Yeah.
Sam, all I have noted for Sam is that he's out looking for his missing sister and then completely drops that the moment he finds a hot babe.
Yeah.
Like he's still kind of looking, but he starts just looking in the woods.
Right.
And it's like
just randomly in the woods.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to leave this missing poster on this spruce tree like a mile from the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, we keep calling him Sam. His name in the movie is Clay.
Clay Miller, yeah.
But yeah, he rides into town on a motorcycle and the cop is like, you should have stayed out of town, Sam Winchester. And he's like, I'm back to look for my sister. And he's like, well, she's not here. I'm sorry. And then that's it. Like, I guess he has like a past, apparently. We never learn anything else about that.
Yeah. The Officer Brack, clearly, as we've pointed out, he has some sort of knowledge of Jason and simply because he's just like, check one of the other places those kids vanished. Like, he's just like, he does not care about these kids. He says they probably took off together. And it's like, what, all the kids? All the separate college kids that were there in different groups?
Yeah.
Like, what is, he's so not willing to
All of them
investigate.
just ran away? All of them just decided to just burn their lives and start with a new identity?
Yeah.
I have also, but I don't know, because he replies, replies. He responds pretty promptly to the cabin out at Crystal Lake. So you'd think if he knew,
right,
then he maybe wouldn't have responded to that call. But I guess the Trent's cabin isn't really at Crystal Lake; it's adjacent to it. Jason has merely come over there because they keep stealing his weed.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. He's a bad cop. I'll say that.
Yeah, not a good one.
Yeah.
Gets an arrow to the eye. You're definitely not a good cop if that happens to you.
Yeah. I wrote down the shop worker because he's a Michael Winslow type. He makes noises for comedic effect.
That guy was real familiar.
Yeah.
But I loved him.
He's doing a thing.
I loved him dearly.
This is the stuff that they got right, where they're like, every side character is a fucking freak.
Yeah, everybody needs to be a weirdo in town.
Yeah. The old exposition lady.
Old exposition lady rules with her insanely aggressive dog. They always have it.
She's like, I could live like her with this farm and all the trash and the dogs.
She's living like Jason.
She is.
The only difference between her and Jason is the dog.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. He's both the weird old lady and the dog.
Right.
The tow truck driver, Dave.
So I put it as motorist. This guy's amazing.
This bizarrely sinister tow truck driver. I think he's the murderer in a different movie that just intersected with this one.
He was going to kill Trent.
He was going to wear Trent's skin.
Yeah, he pulls over, doesn't say a word to Trent. So the idea is, is it Jason? Which is a funny thing for Jason to be doing.
was never it for me. Like in the but it's just you can't see in the cab. He puts out this one beckoning claw, like the specter of death. Like it's so like suspenseful. Like, who's the tow truck driver?
Right. And then Trent gets impaled on the back on the tow truck part, and the tow truck driver drives away with him. And I thought that was so funny because I'm imagining he didn't notice. And he's going to like go home, go to bed and wake up. And it'll be like if you accidentally hit like a coyote and didn't realize it or something, like you drove drunk home. Mm-hmm. And then he's just going to find him in his tow truck and be like, damn it. Darn it.
Honey, I ran over another wasp.
Yeah.
I think he sees Jason come out and stab him. And then we finally see his face. He's like, oh shit. And he steps on the gas. And then Jason body slams Trent onto the little toe forks.
Yeah.
And the truck speeds away with Trent bouncing jauntily all the way.
Yeah. I just hope that he didn't see where Trent went, I guess. So when he gets home,
he probably missed it.
It'll be a nice little surprise.
It's going to be a real surprise for him and his wife.
He's going to be like, did I pop a tire? I keep hearing this rattling back there.
Gets
I have
pulled over. What seems to be the problem?
Yeah.
Is my taillight out again?
Yes, it is actually. There's a torso slapping into it.
Actually, it is obstructed.
The cop's like, did you go near Crystal Lake?
Did you happen to drive by Crystal Lake?
There you go.
All right, so I'm just going to write you a ticket for an obstructed license plate.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and get this guy off there.
Yeah. We'll take care of him. But we have our biggest... I only have one more second best monster. We already talked about him briefly. It's Mr. Wood Chipper guy.
The barn pervert.
So Clay taps on his shoulder. He almost bashes Clay's head in. He says, "You're fucking lucky there, Stretch. Came about that close to hitting the start button on the whoop-ass machine, boy." It's like no one talks about like this.
No, that's a Michael Bay character.
Yeah.
Michael Bay insisted on this character.
Yeah. He pours unprompted exposition all over him. He tries to sell him the weed.
Jason's weed.
Yep. And then at work, on someone else's property, as he says, this isn't my place, he decides to start masturbating. He looks at porn to get himself horny. He licks the porn. And I was like, even if you own that porn, don't lick the porn.
Yeah. It's just a good idea not to lick porn for a number of reasons.
Yeah. This is how wood porn gets made. People like this, though.
Yeah,
like this porn. Is how woods porn gets brought in. Mm-hmm. He goes upstairs to the attic to continue his masturbation. finds Gina, the mannequin, who he lost his virginity to, or he...
Yeah, it's what he said. Yeah, the mannequin took his virginity. He actually goes upstairs for a much crazier reason.
Right, he hears a noise.
He hears a noise and is like, they better not be stealing any of that kerosene up there. So this man is storing kerosene on the second floor of a barn.
You're right, he sure is.
That's... Listen, this guy was going to die in the near future.
Or kill, yeah.
Or kill, yeah.
He died the best way, which is his throat slit in front of his fucking mannequin sex doll.
Yeah.
Like, his sex doll watches him die.
Yeah, like Mr. Universe in Serenity.
Right, and I don't think his death is the worst thing that's ever happened in that shed. I think worse things have happened
I think worse
shed.
Crimes have happened in that shed.
Yeah.
Worse murders.
Right, it's the classic one where you're like, it's good that Jason killed him.
Yeah.
He saved more lives.
This guy needed to be stopped.
Yeah.
In the balance, the 5 teens that were lost pales in comparison to the lives the barn pervert would have.
Exactly. Well, that's all I have. So do we want to get into the death rank?
Let's do it. Yeah, I don't have anything else for second best monsters.
All right, we're gonna rank the deaths in this movie, and then we're gonna rank the deaths in the series, because this is the last episode.
This is the final one, man. We got to do it.
So I'll go through the deaths of this movie. Number 1, Pamela Voorhees decapitated. Number 2, Wade stabbed in the dark, ear pulled off, maybe.
Yeah, with the earbuds still intact.
Yeah.
While listening to Sister Christian.
Oh, yeah. Number 3, Amanda hung upside down in a sleeping bag over a fire and roasted.
Roasted like a little turkey leg.
Yep. Number 4, Mike pulled into the floor like he's being dragged to hell and possibly eaten by Jason.
Maybe.
Probably not eaten. Yeah.
Maybe.
Number 5, Richie caught in a bear trap, macheted in the head. Number 6, Mr. Woodchipper, throat slashed in front of his sex mannequin.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, Nolan arrowed while driving a boat. Arrowed in the head. Number 8, Chelsea stabbed in the head under a dock. Number 9, Chewie stabbed in the neck with a screwdriver.
Yeah. It's gnarly.
Yeah. Number 10, Lawrence hit by a throwing axe and then pushed through the axe.
Yeah, he flips him
into
over
the
and
axe.
slams him down on it so it punches through his chest, yeah.
Yeah. Number 11, Bree impaled against a hook. Number 12.
Then flung from the window later.
Oh, yeah.
She's already dead, but now
That's
she's more
classic.
dead.
That's a classic Jason kill.
Yeah, he loves that shit.
Yep. Number 12, Officer Brack impaled through the eye with the arrow.
Arrowed.
Number 13, Trent impaled on a truck spikes and driven away. And number 14, Jenna stabbed through the back.
Stabbed through the back, and you're to blame.
Who do you think? I have mine.
In this one?
Yeah.
My personal favorite, I think, is Trent.
Interesting.
Just because I remember seeing this in the theater, and all of us, the entire house, had a hearty laugh at Trent just bouncing down, like his body bouncing down the street. It's very much like, it's the same gag as Homer at the bat when he gets knocked out and they're carrying his unconscious body around at the end.
You know,
I think like this bouncing body. It's very funny. It's very slapstick. So
I think there's a good case to be made for Trent. So ones I was thinking about is, of course, Nolan arrow through the face, which is just very funny and abrupt. And Amanda, of course,
roasted over the fire. Yeah,
here's the thing.
It's an upgraded sleeping bag kill.
Right, and that's actually the case against it, where I'm like, Trent's death is actually kind of unique, the most unique for Friday the 13th.
Yeah, honestly, it is.
It also has a second component that's pretty key, which is the humiliation of the corpse.
Yeah, and the third component is it's the icing of an absolute shit.
Yeah. Do we want to go with Trent?
There's usually one.
Yeah. Should we go with Trent?
I think so, because as much as I like Ryan Hansen getting shot through the eye, you're right in that Trent is entirely unique, and shot through the eye is pretty unique, but it's not the first time Jason has shot somebody through the eye with a projectile.
Exactly.
He uses the harpoon gun in part 3.
All right, we'll go
and
with
maybe
Trent.
more, but that's the main one that I remember.
So now we have 12 kills to vote from. I will list them now. These are the best of the best. These are the top kills of each Friday the 13th as determined by our methods, which are objective and perfect. Right?
Yes.
Absolute. All right, number 1, part 1, Kevin Bacon arrowed through the chest. Part 2, Mark getting a machete in the face in the wheelchair, and then that wheelchair going down.
Crashing down the stairs. Yeah, that's pretty close to Trent.
Yeah. Part 3, Andy split down the middle while doing a handstand.
Oh, boy. I always forget about that one.
It's just so joyous what he's doing, and it's like, killing a clown.
Then he puts his sectioned body above his girlfriend's hammock later.
Yeah.
While she's
Part
reading Fangoria.
Part 4 is Jason killed by a child, hacked to death.
Obliterated by Corey Feldman, no less.
Yeah. Part 5 is Joey murdered by Vic with an axe.
Really out of line, Vic.
Part 6, Sheriff Garris folded in half.
Oh, man, that's a great one.
Yeah. Part 7, the lady camper, the sleeping bag kill.
The sleeping
Classic.
bag kill, yeah.
Part 8, Julius decapitated with a single punch while on a roof, and his head rolls into a dumpster.
And the dumpster closes.
Yep. Part 9, Jason drone striked by SEAL Team 6.
That's the one we went with for part 9. Yeah, I guess that works.
Yeah. Part
it was
10,
pretty great.
Adrian.
He explodes. Sorry.
It is pretty amazing. Adrian, face stuck in liquid nitrogen and head smashed.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Yep. Part 11, Trey stabbed repeatedly through the back, folded into a bed.
Fucking shit,
a non-foldable bed.
Get a bed that does not fold.
Yep. And now Trent in the reboot, impaled on truck spikes, driven away.
Oh, man. Man.
So
there's a couple of ways to rate this.
That's the first question. How do we rate?
Because there's one in terms of just how good of a kill it is in terms of slasher movie kills, which could also mean a couple. There's even further divisions of that. It could be is it what makes it the best? Is it because it's like the goriest? Is it because it's the funniest? Is it because it's the cleverest or the most over the top?
Is it the best made?
Yeah.
Best,
is it the best
sequence?
Yeah, the best effect. Is it the most memorable? Is it just something that's just like an iconic moment in horror movies, like Julius getting his head punched off, or the liquid nitrogen one?
Right, because in terms of iconic, it's Sleeping Bag to me.
Yeah.
However, personally, in terms of what delights me every single time, what is stuck in my memory every single time, what I'll never forget is Mark in the wheelchair. Tom, for the podcast listener, Tom put up 2 fingers as I said this. Mark in a wheelchair in a tight shot, and then it's machete comes from off camera, gets him right in the face, and then Mark continues to travel after death for quite some time and quite a while. He goes down the stairs in the wheelchair. And no, he has to travel to the stairs, I think, first.
It's a weird...
I think he wheels for a while, then cut down the stairs.
It smashes to him suddenly at the steps. It's part of what makes it wild, yeah.
Right, it's like an Adult Swim gag. It's played... And so it's really hard for me to get past that one.
Yeah, plus it was so early in the series, so it's been with me for a while.
Right, and it's classic era. So it's this is what it's all about. And to me, I've kind of measured all the other kills based on that, where it's how humiliated is the body after the death? How humiliated is the situation? How funny is it? How unexpected is it?
There's an additional element. We said, because I counted for Trent in the reboot. part of what makes it such a good one is he's a piece of shit. We hate him so much. We can't wait for him to die. The opposite is true here. Mark is like the character that deserves it the least.
Right.
And he gets punished so totally and humiliatingly.
Yeah.
For no reason, they punish this character.
Right. He's such a sweet guy.
Yeah.
I'm watching The Kill
he's
again.
Training for the Olympics.
Oh my God. Yeah. I forgot about that. I'm watching The Kill again, and there's a few things of note. One, he should see Jason.
He has to see Jason. Yeah. There's no way.
And he doesn't act like he sees Jason. So the first stage is he's actually on the porch.
Mm-hmm.
And he's sitting there and he's looking around. Then the machete comes out of nowhere. His wheelchair then backs down and falls down the porch steps.
Mm-hmm.
Then his wheelchair takes a left turn. It turns. And then we cut to the other stairs,
mm-hmm.
implying that we don't really know how far he traveled.
We do, though.
The chair seems to come alive and lead him, and then he goes down the stairs and dies down at the bottom of the stairs.
Just really bouncing crazily with the machete just sticking in his hand. Like a pair of rabbit ears.
Yeah, again, Mark, who's sweetest guy.
Yeah, he's like the nicest dude.
Yeah.
Because we're veterans of the Friday the 13th game, there's like an additional thing we should explain to you here. The map from part 2 is a pretty. It's one of the main ones in the video game, and they're all very, very faithfully recreated. It is a considerable distance from the porch to those stairs. And you see it in the movie, too. It's not just, you need to have played the video game to know this. You see it in the movie as well. He has to have rolled like 100 feet at least across the grass.
It's like getting killed in a smart car and the car brings you home. Like he keeps traveling for way too long. Yeah. And I am always tickled by when a corpse travels. Yeah, dead on a horse. That's exactly what it is. When you're dead on something that seems to have its own intent.
Yeah.
And this wheelchair takes him for a ride.
The wheelchair's like, free at last!
Yeah, exactly.
Running down to the water.
Yeah. So, the wheelchair is sentient. So, I can't get past Mark getting stabbed in the face and then continuing to roll for half a mile.
Man, it's been a favorite since freaking middle school.
Yeah.
I have an
Remember, this is our list.
I know. I have an unpopular opinion, but...
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure I was going to vote 2 as well, just because it's the same for me. It's just such like a, it's so mean and so slapstick and just, I don't know. It's a perfect Jason kill. And then of course I'm torn a little bit on the sleeping bag because it's the sleeping bag.
It's the shower scene.
It's the shower scene from Psycho. Yeah, it's fucking stuffing somebody in a sleeping bag and smashing them against a tree. It's great.
Yeah.
Honestly, the bed stab in Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh, wow.
It's so over the top.
It is pretty amazing. Man, it depends on how because I was realizing we didn't pick some of the flinging, like the lady flung into the tree and shit like that. There's some funny kills in that.
Yeah, there's some great ones.
The bed stab is very good.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think that's going to have to be my honorable mention because that one, even though that movie is over 20 years old now, it still's like, that's one of the newer ones. I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, it's sort of like, it's like the earlier ones I kind of favor because it's like they set the tone.
Yeah.
They sort of wouldn't, the later ones wouldn't exist without the other ones, you know?
I'm trying to think of like an equivalent of the machete to the head in one of the new ones. I mean, I guess it would be that the stabbing bedfold, but I mean,
there's also an idea of the fundamentals of what makes a Jason kill. So one of the iconic ones is Kevin Bacon arrowed, and the reason that's iconic is it's surprising, right? He lies down and then it comes out through him.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh shit! So that's why the wheelchair one is like, okay, it's unexpected. And it's humiliating, and it's funny.
Yeah.
And it has all these like elements that make up the other ones. It's not bloody is the only thing. It's not particularly gory.
No. Well, it doesn't need to be.
Right, but that's
Most
the only
of the ones
other
we
factor.
picked, I think, aren't really.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think you're right. I think that's a good assessment of it. It's to pinpoint what makes an ideal Jason kill. It's got to check all those boxes.
Yeah, it's got to be like like beating up a Muppet.
Yeah.
It's like, that's why the sleeping bag is so iconic too.
Right, and that's the other thing.
It's humiliating, it's funny.
It's got to be that doesn't have to be, because the Mark getting macheted in the head in part 2 doesn't have this element, but another great element for Jason is the MacGyver element. It's
right.
Like he's going to kill you with something weird.
Environmental kills.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we didn't do that many, to be honest.
No, honestly, there weren't. I mean, there's a lot of him killing people with weird shit, but it just never topped the list in any of the movies. So that's which is interesting, because it is such a fundamental part of what is entertaining to me about Jason. Is part of him is just like a kid in a candy store looking around like, okay, what can I do with this?
Right.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna go. I think I'll agree with you on Mark.
Okay.
Mark from part 2 is still my all-time. With the bed stab and Freddy versus Jason as an honorable mention.
Right. If we're being honest, they're like children. You don't rate them. You don't rank them. Not out loud, at least.
Never
like
to their
it's
faces.
Yeah. Like we love all of the kills, so it's an arbitrary thing to do in a podcast. Where it's like, where let's try to find the definitive.
Right. My
best
mind will
kill.
change in an hour, maybe. You know.
Exactly. But part 2. Mark getting macheted in the face and then rolling down several sets of stairs.
He just travels so
winner.
far after death.
Yeah. Not many people get to travel very far after death.
No, it's like getting killed on an escalator.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
On a horse.
On a horse.
Dead on a horse on an escalator.
Wonder what the farthest someone's traveled while dead. And you know what? I'm going to do an added thing. While dead without anybody knowing they've died yet.
Oh, it's probably something can't grim, be like some astronaut.
Yeah, that's true. An astronaut, probably. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That checks out. Well, we did it.
I think we've done it. I think that's the final mask hole. We've plugged it.
Yeah.
We've plugged the final hole, Dave.
Yeah, we plugged the final hole. It's no more leaks. No more leaks in that mask. All thank you to Krishanovich. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Krishanovich, our producer, for having us do this series. It was
a ton of fun.
Yeah, I'm going to miss it.
Can't believe we're already done. Yeah, I'm going to miss it. There's no more Jason movies, man. We did them all.
And yet, I'll probably just watch them again. In fact, next month, there's a Friday the 13th in June.
Well,
there's a Friday the 13th in June.
So odds are we're going to be watching it on a movie night, guys.
Yeah, this should come out on Friday the 13th, but it's not gonna this episode. But yeah, that there's always more Friday the 13th.
There's always
to
room
watch.
for Jason. Yeah, it's like Christmas.
Exactly.
You don't just put it away.
No. Well, you put it away in the attic you take it out, you celebrate it. You take it out. You take it out. You dust it off. You put it up in your living room. You let your kids stare at it.
Just really wonder what it could mean.
Yeah. Why is it standing so still there? Jason. We love him. We should, we have a Patreon, by the way. Patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's how this was made. Through our Patreon.
Yes.
We have exclusive podcasts. For $5 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Star Trek The Next Futurama, Spiel Boys, and as we alluded to, our supernatural podcast, Him Booze, which has Sam, who is in this movie. Check that out. All for $5 a month. You get so many. It's so many. We watch movies every Friday night, which we are also referring to, which we have watched every Friday the 13th movie.
We have.
On a Friday night. Every single one, and we will watch them again until we die or until you die. So come join us.
One or the other, or both. We also have a store. Head over to gamefullyunemployed.com. You can find a link to our Teespring store. We have all kinds of cool original artwork by cool original artists like Michael Vincent Bramley, Starlene Hodge, Justin Brown, and others. So please check that out. Rate and review our podcasts. It helps us out.
Yes.
Check out our new show, please. Badical, Badical.
Check it out.
Check it out.
How often do you think we directly threaten the lives of people at the end of our podcasts? Or like talk about their deaths? I feel like a lot.
Yeah, more times than I'm like comfortable confirming.
Right.
In a public setting.
Maybe we should change it up. We'll start doing rob their houses.
Yeah,
let's threaten to rob their houses.
Let's threaten to burgle people.
Burgle.
Yeah.
All right, you heard it, everybody. Official. Swapping it out.
Yeah.
Burgling.
Turning over a new leaf for us. A new mask hole.
Yep. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.